So before we start our class, actual class, everybody physically, mentally be relaxed. Totally need to forget your, the busyness, be relaxed. Then first, visualize all sentient beings without exception, particularly the beings who has always a lot of sufferings and problem, the being who you consider as your enemy, those also you must include. Object of compassion, and cultivate love and compassion towards all sentient beings. And accept all sentient beings as your dearest parents, your dearest friend. When we accept all sentient beings who are our dearest one, then we have a pure compassion towards all sentient beings. And when they have a little sufferings, we cannot bear their suffering and wish them free from sufferings. In order to free them from sufferings, we need, particular ability, particular power. We need the ability to teach them the right path, right methods. Therefore, we need to achieve Buddhahood. In order to teach the right paths, the right methods, we need omniscience. Without having omniscience, we really cannot teach the right dharma, right methods, right paths to any sentient beings, because we won't understand their mental disposition. Therefore, based on cultivation, great compassion, and visualize all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and wish to be Buddha ourselves, or becoming Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Achieving the enlightened state, becoming Buddha, is very much depend on our daily practice, daily dharma practice. All dharma practices we can include into two practices: practice of wisdom, practice of methods, mainly bodhichita, and the wisdom which realizes emptiness. The realizing emptiness is very much depend on our effort, also very much depend on we need to study, the very stainless teaching like Prajana Paramita teaching taught by Buddha Shakyamuni, then 5 or 6 treatises by Nagarjuna, also composed by Buddha Pali, the Buddha Palita, and the Enter into Middle Way by Acharya Chandrakirti. So today we will start about emptiness by Chandrakirti text, Entering the Middle Way. And the last Sunday, I told you a short biography about Chandrakirti. Chandrakirti has a very 3 important teaching about emptiness. One is entering the middle way. Second is the commentary on it. Mostly commentary about the meaning of the entering the middle way. Second is the the word commentary on entering the middle way. So right now we will study about the root text. So we read from the beginning. First, pay homage to the General Lord Manjushri. This is pay homage to Manjushri in order to complete the translation from Sanskrit to Tibetan. This line is, composed by Tibetan translator. In Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we have a very important rules. If the teaching is about Sutrayan, then pray to Buddha and Bodhisattvas. If the teaching is about Vinaya, at the beginning, we must pray to Omniscient. If the teaching is about mainly explained the emptiness, then pray to Manjushri. So please remember the 3 baskets or 3 Pitaka, Abhidharma, Vinaya, and Sutra. When you open the Abhidharma text written by a Tibetan or translated by a Tibetan master, they always could see, praise to the Manjushri. The main subject, the main content in the Abhidharma is selflessness and emptiness. In order to realize selflessness or emptiness, we need very deep wisdom. Through praying to Manjushri, so we can have better wisdom. The Sutra, translated by Tibetan or written by Tibetan, always you can see praise to Buddha and Bodhisattva. The Sutra basket, the content is mainly the methods, five perfection, bodhichita, and so and so. This content can be realized by Buddhas and Bodhisattva. Then when you open the Vinaya text, written by Tibetan or translated by Tibetan into Tibetan, at the beginning, always you can see the priest to the omniscient. Because the Vinaya rules and regulations only taught by Buddha, nobody can change the Vinaya's rules and regulation except Buddha Shakyamuni. None of the other Buddha has a authority to change the Vinaya rules. Therefore, here you can see, I pay homage to gentle Lord Manjushri. The first paragraph, Charvaka and middle-level Buddhas arise from civilian sages. The Charvaka is a hearer. The middle-level Buddha is a solitary realizer Buddha. Both of them arise from Sarvajan sage or Buddha, because Buddha taught dependent originations, Four Noble Truths. Then they apprehend the dependent origination, 12 dependent originations, Four Noble Truths. Then they follow the paths. They can achieve their own goal. Then where's the Buddha arise? How someone become a Buddha? Because Buddhas are born from bodhisattva. So this is very important as a Buddhist. In our Buddhist tradition, none of the Buddhas were Buddha at the beginning. Like Buddha Shakyamuni, he was just ordinary person, us, maybe worse than us. Then through his study, practice, meditation, and practice bodhichita, then he became bodhisattva. Then practice bodhichita with the emptiness for many years. And finally he became a Buddha. This tells us, we, everybody, all human beings can be Buddha because we have the ability to study Dharma, to practice Dharma, to cultivate the bodhicitta, then we can be bodhisattva. Once we become bodhisattva, then slowly we will be Buddha. Therefore, Buddhas are born from bodhisattva. Then bodhisattva, you can think, two kinds of bodhisattva. One bodhisattva became the primary cause to Buddha. Some other bodhisattva, he caused someone to be Buddha, not the primary cause. Therefore, Buddhas are born from bodhisattvas. Then, where bodhisattva was born, how someone, became bodhisattva? Because the compassionate mind and non-dual cognition, as well the awakening mind, these are the cause of bodhisattva, right? Therefore, how someone can be bodhisattva? All the bodhisattvas at the beginning, they were not bodhisattva. They were just ordinary beings like us. Then they study Buddha teaching. They study the Mahayana teaching. First, they cultivate great compassion. Then they cultivate bodhichita. Then they realize emptiness. Then they become bodhisattva. Therefore, the great compassion, bodhichita, the non-dual cognitions are the cause of the bodhisattva. Here I think many of you remember the average bodhisattva. First, they accomplish bodhicitta. Then second, they realize emptiness. But there are so many bodhisattvas. First, they realize emptiness. Second, then they cultivate bodhicitta. So most of us first cultivate bodhicitta, then try to realize emptiness. Because in order to realize emptiness, our mind must be we must have a very intelligent mind. Also, we must have a very sharpness mind. Not only just intelligent, we need, lot of merit. We need lot of positive energy. So when we have bodhicitta, so we can accumulate a lot of merits, a lot of positive energy for realize emptiness. Then in order to cultivate bodhicitta, then compassion must be there. Compassion. Compassion and great compassion. All the Hinayan practitioners, they have compassion. They wish all sentient beings free from suffering. They wish all sentient beings, wish to always be happy. They have a love. They have a compassion, but they don't have the great compassion. They just wish, but they never act to free all sentient beings from suffering. They never act all sentient beings to be happy. Therefore, we must differentiate between compassion and great compassion. Great compassion is the most important cause to cultivate bodhicitta. Therefore, the compassionate mind, non-dual cognition, and the awakening mind are the cause of the bodhisattva. Then last time somebody asked, what does mean the non-dual cognition? The simple answer for you, the mind which is realized emptiness is the non-dual mind, non-dual cognition. Then second paragraph, a compassion alone is among the bodhicitta, non-dual cognition, and compassion, which are most important for bodhisattva. Therefore, compassion is the most important, as compassion alone is the accepted to be the seat of the perfect harvest of Buddhahood. So Buddhahood look like, the perfect harvest. Then great compassion is look like seeds. In order to have the perfect harvest, we need a healthy seeds. Not just seeds, healthy seeds. Therefore, great compassion is the seeds to cultivate the harvest of Buddhahood. Then next line, the water that nourishes it. So once you have a healthy seed, you can grow the harvest, but continuously we need to add water. Once you have a great compassion, you can generate bodhichita, but the compassion we need to practice continuously until we become Buddha, like a water, need to add to the harvest continuously until they give fruits. Then, and the fruit that is long are sources of the enjoyment. So, once you become a Buddha, then the fruit of bodhicitta, fruit of compassion, the fruit of bodhicitta is very complete. But continuously, enjoy the fruit of the Buddhahood. The Buddha still needs compassion. So right now, look at we are very much happy. We are very much enjoying the Buddha teachings. Because after Buddha Shakyamuni, he became a Buddha. He just didn't stay quietly and just enjoying himself, but he shared the teaching, the fruit with us because of the great compassion. Therefore, the water that nourishes it and the fruit that is long a source of enjoyment, I will place compassion at the start of all. Therefore, Chandrakirti, so before he really composed the text, he preached to the compassion. Compassion is very important. Directly, he preached to compassion. Indirectly, then he preached to bodhisattva, Buddha, omniscient. Directly, great compassion. Indirectly, he preached to bodhisattva, Buddha, and omniscient, because those are the result of the compassion. Then, stanza number 3. First, with the thought. So, compassion has three kinds of compassion. The compassion merely focus on sentient beings. Compassion focus on sentient being based on realizing impermanence of sentient beings. Compassion focus on sentient beings based on realizing the emptiness or awareness of the sentient beings. There are three kinds of compassion. So how we should cultivate the first compassion? The first, with the thoughts I am. Look, everybody has a thought. I am a man, I'm a woman, I'm a human. I am. But they cling to self. Yes, there's no problem having I am. There's no problem say I'm a human being. But there's a problem when you cling I as a self, exists selfly, exists independently. So therefore, it's still the ignorance of the samsara, the root of the samsara. Therefore, first, with the thoughts I am, they cling to self. Second, then what happened then? With the thoughts mind, there's no problem having thoughts, I am a human being. This is my hand, no problem. But there's a problem. They become attached to the things. Attached to the things, right? Attached to things. Therefore, second is tell all the afflictive emotions. First, we perceived, we believe the independent, inherent I. Second, based on having the thoughts, independent I, Then when we possess something, we possess thing as an inherent possession. Then attachment, anger, desire arise. Then what happened? The third, we accumulate all the negative karmas. Therefore, here look at, with the thoughts mind, they became attached to the things. Then what does it look like? Ignorance, attachment, all the negative karma. Then we are in samsara. Without stopping. For example, look at, we were born, now we were maybe most of us, over 40, 50. So one day, so we have to leave this world. If this is the last kind of, the life, then we no need to worry anything. When we died, everything finished. No next life, no more suffering. It's okay. But there's a next life. We have to go. We have to check. Then again, where we were born, again human or other beings, then remain for many few days, few months, few years, we dead, then born like circle. Therefore, look at like the buckets on the water wheel. The buckets, the buckets in the water wheel. So here you must remember the sixth analogy, which I explained first. So when you think about yourself, how you are in samsara, look like the water buckets on the water wheel. Like the bucket, the buckets on the water wheel. The wheels go down. We were born in the lower realms. Due to a lot of effort, lot of positive action, we were born into higher realms. Then go down again. There must be someone who turning the wheel, because the person who own the the water wheel, he or she is turning the wheel, push down, pull up, pull down, push up. So the consciousness, the mind, is the most important mechanism. First, the mind clinging the I as independent. Then the mind attached to the things. Then arise attachment, anger, everything is a mind. Then when the buckets go down, the buckets hit everywhere. The wheel, water will move continuously. The buckets hit continuously everywhere to the ground, the side and up. So for 24 hours, so we have sufferings. We have all kinds of problems. Then the buckets on the water with tight, well tight, not easy to come out. So our life, all sentient being in samsara, not easy to escape, not easy to free from samsara, because our mind, we strongly, wellly tied with the ignorance, attachment, desire. Therefore, we wish to free from suffering, but no choice. We go in samsara, continues in millions of years. So we will born in samsara, millions of years. If we're not able to cut the rope on the water wheel, which is tie the baskets, we're not able to cut the ignorance, then we will be in samsara forever. We always have a suffering, problems forever. So this is the best opportunity, the golden opportunity for us. About if we try, we're able to cut the ignorance. When you cut the ignorance, attachment, desire, everything going to be dissipated. Therefore, what Buddha said, the teaching which is I teach you to reduce anger is not going to reduce attachment. The teaching which is I teach you to reduce attachment is not going to reduce anger. The teaching which is I teach you to reduce ignorance, it can reduce all the negative, all the afflictive emotions. So therefore, here we need to recognize the ignorance, how we accumulate karma, how we are in samsara. Second, when you think about how other sentient beings in samsara, they are in samsara same way, then you can cultivate compassion. I bow to the compassion that care for such as suffering beings. Then somebody think, oh, suffering being means in samsara there are some beings who doesn't have any sufferings. No, all sentient beings has always three kinds of sufferings: suffering of suffering, suffering of changes, and pervasive sufferings. Can you think someone doesn't have a pervasive suffering, who doesn't have the physical like body? No. All sentient beings has a physical body, gross, subtle, very subtle. All sentient beings has a suffering of suffering, sickness, disease, all kinds of physical sufferings. All sentient beings has a suffering of change. Therefore, suffering beings. This is how we generate, cultivate, compassion, just merely focus on sentient being. Then, the fourth stanza, focus on sentient being based on realizing impermanent sentient beings, impermanence. Therefore, beings are like reflect on the moon in the rippling water. So this is the analogy. Seeing them as a fleeting, as a devoid of intrinsic natures. The beings are like reflect of the moon in the rippling water. The reflection moon in the water you can use, as an analogy, as an impermanent analogy for the devoting or emptiness. Let's say when you look at the moon reflection on the water, you can see the reflection is always moving, because the web is always moving. That means when you see the reflection of the moon is always moving, there's a movement, it will realize us all the conditioned phenomena are impermanent. All sentient beings are impermanent. They didn't realize it. They think things are permanent. Then they accumulate a lot of negative karmas. So that means moon, the reflection moon in the water as a moving analogy for impermanent. When we see the moon in the water, if you don't know actually it is not real moon, then you can attach the moon is in the water. So far we are very lucky. We know it's not real moon, it's the reflection of the moon. So for us, we don't realize how things are established. Actually, everything is look like the reflection moon in the water. So these two tell us how we cultivate, the next two compassion. Compassion based on realizing emptiness, based on realizing impermanence. Three kinds of compassion. The next stanza 5. 4. Yeah, 4. The next one, 5. Through intense dedication with Samandabhatra prayers, he abide in the perfect joy. This is called the first ground. From the pond on, having attained the ground, he is held by the name of bodhisattva. Until the paragraph number 4, we call this is try to explain us the part of the ordinary beings. There's 5 parts. Within the 5, the first 2 parts we call ordinary parts, ordinary beings part. Then seeing, meditation, no more learning part, we call not transcendent part or arhat part. Now you can see, Chandrakirti, he just jumped to the arhat part. He didn't explain the first and second parts directly, but when he explained bodhichita, actually he explained the accumulation part, parts of accumulations. Because you are entering into the bodhisattva path or not, it is dependent on bodhicitta. When you accomplish bodhicitta, you are already on the bodhisattva path. You already entered into the part of the accumulation. Second, he explained the non-dual cognition, emptiness, the wisdom like emptiness. So when you have, when you accomplish the special insight on emptiness, then you already reach to the preparation parts. No need to explain separately. Then he just jumped to the first bhumi. Through the intense dedication with the Samandabhatra prayers, he abode in the perfect joy. This called the first ground. From the pond on, having attained the ground, he held by the name of bodhisattva alone. So why we name it perfect joy? Perfect joy. So the bodhisattva, first time when he or she reached to the first bhumi, he has a sense of great joyness because he realized emptiness, direct perception, directly. He feels so joy because then he realized now almost 100% sure I can be Buddha. Before them, they are bodhisattva, but not 100% sure they can be Buddha. Because if they decline the bodhicitta, they fell into the Hinayana path. So when he or she realized emptiness directly, feels so relief, feels so enjoy, great joyness there. Not only that. So you can explain, you can see next explanation. Then I think what does mean through the intense dedication with Samandabhatra prayers. All the bodhisattvas, they do a lot of dedication, millions of billions of dedications. But all dedications you can include into the Samandabhatra prayers, the king of the prayers. Within the king of the prayers, there's only 2 paragraphs. They include all the dedications. Therefore, the bodhisattvas who reach to the first bhumi, he or she do a lot of dedications. All the dedication you can include into the Samandabhadra's prayers, the king of the aspiration prayers. Then next, the fourth sentence, fourth line, from the point on, having attained the ground. So when he or she reached the first ground, then he or she, we can name, the bodhisattva. This means the bodhisattva who reached to the first ground, first bhumi, then we name not just bodhisattva, we name ultimate bodhisattva. When he or she accomplished bodhichita, then we already name bodhisattva. When he or she reached to the first bhumi, then he or she has the name of ultimate bodhisattva. Tondambe Janjusepa. Because he or she accomplished the ultimate bodhicitta. Therefore, he is held by the name of bodhisattva, ultimate bodhisattva alone. Then, stanza number 6. He is born into the lineage of the Tathagata as well. When he or she reached the first bhumi, then he or she, born into the lineage of the Tathagata. Mean he became the lineage of the Tathagata. Mean the practitioner who reached the first bhumi, since the practitioner sure he can be Tathagata, there's no dangers to decline into the Hinayana path. Therefore, he is born into the lineage of the Tathagata as well. Not only having name of the ultimate bodhisattva, he or she born to the lineage of the Tathagata, mean he or she 100% sure, can be Buddha. For example, I give you, an example. Let's say everybody has an Indian visa. All the bodhisattva who, abide into the preparation and accumulation path, they have a bodhichita. So let's say everybody have Indian visa. But, going to India is not just a visa. We have to clear through the immigration officer. When they chop on our passport, then we are sure we can go to India. Otherwise, maybe we have to return because we haven't had the chop on the passport. So the bodhisattva who reached the first bhumi, he or she got the chop. There's no dangers. You can go to India. You don't need to return to Singapore. Now you can go all the way to Tathagata state, Buddhahood. No need to return to the Hinayana path. There's no dangers. You're getting a chop. Therefore, he born into the lineage of the Tathagata as well. He has the utterly purged the three bonding factors. Three bonding factors. What are the three bonding factors? First, what do you call the clinging, the I. Clinging I as a permanent, singleness, unity. This is one of the bending factors. Second is one of the wrong view. Third is the negative doubt. Are the three bonding where? Bonding in the samsara. First, we have, the thoughts which we cling, I as a permanent, singleness, unity. When the Bodhisattva reached the first bhumi, he totally eliminated this kind of self-clanging thing. Then wrong view. So before that, the view he or she follow, the perfect view, but haven't eliminate the wrong views tendency. Then negative doubt. These three things are the most great obstacle to follow the path. First, if you cling, you have a thought which is clinging I as a permanent, then you don't have a aspiration to practice the path. At the beginning, you're not going to practice the path. Yes, somehow you practice the paths. If you follow the wrong path, wrong view, then you cannot reach to the Buddha. If you have a doubt about the path to the enlightenment, also you cannot reach to the Buddhahood. Therefore, the bodhisattva who reached to the first bhumi, he or she completely eliminated the three bounding factors. Binding factors, such as a bodhisattva uphold the state of the supreme joy. Right? That means now you can see one reason he feels so joy, he or she feels so joy because he realizes emptiness directly. Second, the practitioner totally eliminates the three binding factors. Therefore, the bodhisattva uphold the state of the supreme joy. The next one, and has the power to shake the 100 walls. So when the practitioner reaches to the first bhumi, the practitioner has a power to shake, the 100 walls. Sometimes, we have a big earthquake. Maybe one of the practitioners reached to the first bhumi. We don't know. He has a power to shake the 100 walls. Not only that, then, the practitioner first time when he or she reached to the first bhumi, first ground, then stepping on from one ground to another. That means he generally can move to the one ground to another. Not lot of obstacles. Stepping on from one ground to another. Not only that, he traveled perfectly to the higher ones. First bhumi, second bhumi, all the way to the 10 bhumis. And at that point, the path to all lower realms are blocked for him. Right? The practitioner who reached to the first bhumi, he or she never born into lower realm by karma, by ignorance, by attachment and desire, totally block the path to the all lower realms. Therefore, until the practitioner reached to the first bhumi, even the bodhisattva, he has a great compassion. He realizes emptiness, but due to the negative karma, he or she still, someone can be born into the lower realms. Therefore, we should not think, when I have a bodhichita, I can be free from lower realms. We should not think, when I realize emptiness, I can be free from the lower realms. Due to the negative karma, he or she, sometimes born into lower realms. After reach to the first bhumi, then the practitioner totally free from the lower realms because he cut the three, bonding factors. Until he realize emptiness directly, the practitioner can be go under control of ignorance, attachment, desire. Since realize emptiness directly, the person never go under control of negative thoughts. No negative control, cannot be controlled by negative thoughts. Then the karma become, like a dry seeds. You have a healthy seeds, no water, the seeds cannot grow anything. The arhat who reached to the first bhumi, he or she has still the negative karma, which can be born in lower realm, but cannot, because he or she totally eliminate the three bonding factor. He or she totally free from the, not go under control of the negative thoughts. Therefore, totally blocked. All lower realms are blocked from him, for him. Not only that, at that point, all the groans of the ordinary person cease for him. Yes, when he or she reaches the first bhumi, then he or she is no more ordinary beings. The past accumulation, preparation past transform into the arhat path. Therefore, at that point, all the groan of the ordinary person cease for him. He is described clearly intense, akin to the et arhat. So also we can say et arhat. Here what you need to know there's a four kinds of abiding, four entering, then four abiding. Continuously entering, continuously abiding, enter into returning, abiding into returning. So I don't want to confuse you. There's just said there's a at arahat. At 4 is entering, 4 are the abiding. The last one, the arhat state. Arhat, not arya. Arhat. So the hearer, the solitary realizer practitioner, when they reach to the liberation, they are totally free from the lower realms. They are totally free from the ordinary paths. Therefore, the bodhisattva who reached the first groan, he or she look like the akin, right? Akin to the et arya, look like the et aryat, arya. Number 8, even, so this is also very important, even when abiding on the first groan of the mind for full awakening, he surpasses those born from the sage's speech and the pratika Buddha through the power of his merit. And his merit increase ever more. When it gone after afar, I think afar, he will also surprise them by his intelligence. So the bodhisattva who reached to the first bhumi, he or she can surprise the solitary realizer and hearer by merit, power of his merit, not power of his intelligence. That means the practitioner who reached to the first bhumi, then he or she become very different from the hearer and solitary realizer. Because first he realized emptiness directly. Also the Hinayan practitioner who reached to the Arya path, he or she also realized emptiness directly. but the merit is big different, become very big different. Therefore, even when a bird on the first ground of the mind of full awakening is surprised, he can surprise those born from the sage's speech, the hearer, and the Pratyeka Buddha. What we call, sage speech mean the hearer, the Hinayan practitioner who are hearer, he practice only Hinayan path. Still, the hearer still attend the Mahayan teaching. But he or she never practice the Mahayan path, but still he just listen the Mahayan teaching. There is a hearer, mean he can hear, he can receive the Mahayan teaching, never practices. They were called hearer. He practice only the Hinayana path, still attend the Mahayan teaching, not practice it. Then why we call solitary realizer, Pratyeka means solitary Buddha, mean once he received enough teaching for achieving liberation, since he or she never attend any teaching from Buddha, because he or she already have received enough teaching to achieve liberation. Since you totally isolate from all the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, totally isolate from the society, he sleep isolatedly, only practice the path, then become the like Buddha, not the complete Buddha, not the complete enlightenment called Buddha. Therefore, here you learn what does mean hearer, what does mean solitary realizer, what does mean Pratyeka Buddha. Mean he received enough teaching, since he totally isolate from Buddha, totally isolate from anybody, only do practice, then achieve liberation. Hearer, he practice the Hinayana path, still he or she attend the Mahayana teaching, but not practice. They call hearer. So therefore, everybody look like hearer, right? We receive a lot of teaching, Lamrim teaching, initiation, so many teachings which are here from someone, we never practice. Therefore, we should not be hearer. We should not be born from the such speech. Therefore, Pratyeka Buddha, through the power of merit, and his merit increased ever more. But when it gone afar, is the name of the seven bhumi. Okay, when it gone afar is the name of the seven bhumi. Then he will also surpass them by his intelligence. Therefore, the practitioner who reached to the first bhumi, he or she can surpass the hearer and solitary realizer by the merit, not the intelligence. Because both of the the Hinayan practitioner and the bodhisattva who reached the first bhumi, they have the same knowledge. Both of them realize emptiness directly. You cannot see, oh, the bodhisattva is more intelligent than hearer. But when the bodhisattva, when he reached to the seventh bhumi, the gone afar, then the bodhisattva can, also surpass them by his intelligence. Intelligent means both of the Hinayan practitioner and the bodhisattva who reached the first, second, third, fourth, fifth bhumi, sixth bhumi, both of them equally realize emptiness directly. But the bodhisattva, when he reached to the seventh bhumi, the wisdom which realize emptiness is become big different. So this one, just let you know, but you say why? These are long. We need to give long explanations. Then number 9. At this point, the first cause for all of full awakening, perfection of generosity, will become preeminent, committed to the giving away even his ever flesh. Giving become a sign to the inferior his unseen qualities. Next, we start from the paragraph number 9. Clear? Okay. So, does anybody have any questions which I explained this morning? Something I should clarify, or you still quite don't understand?
Geshe, we have a questions from Sister Mui Peng regarding about the 3 binding factors. I'll unmute Mui Peng now.
3 what?
3 binding factors.
Oh, binding factors, yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Geshe, sorry, I think I was not concentrating, so I think I missed out your explanation.
You are not concentrating. What I can do for you?
I focus is not there, so because I think I missed out your explanation. The 3 binding factors, I didn't hear the explanation for wrong view.
Okay.
Did you? I think whether yeah.
Wait. Dengsha. Huh? Do you remember the 5 views?
The 5 what?
5 views.
Yeah, 5 views. Yeah.
What are the first?
Yeah, the don't believe in cause and effects, the view of the transitory collection, not this 5.
No.
Oh.
This is, I think, is a very difficult words because look at here.
Because the English translation wrong view is very generic. It's not. I don't know which wrong.
Let's say 5 views.
Yeah.
What are the 5 views? Tawanga. 5 views. Do you remember the 5 views? Anybody?
Under the 10 non-virtues.
Okay, because why I said simply, I said the thoughts which is clinging the eyes as a permanent singleness unity. I give you simple understanding. When you look at the translator, okay, here we say the 5 views. The 5 view of diluted wisdom. The 5 view of diluted wisdom. Number 1, view of the transitory collections. Transitory collections. First view, okay. The second view is the extreme views. Third view is the holding wrong view as a superiors. The fourth is the holding bad ethics and discipline to be superiors. The fifth one, the perverted views. Here, number 1 and number 4 is the 2 factors. Transcendental view of the transcendental collections. Number 1. Number 2, holding bad ethics and discipline to the superiors. The third one, the afflictive doubts. So here everybody, just try to find out what are the 5 views. Also in the Lamrim book, this translated in different ways.
Yeah.
So those are the 5 binding factors. Sorry, 3 binding factors.
Okay, thank you. Understand now. Thank you, Geshe.
Most welcome. Any question related to this morning class?
Geshe, there's another question from Sister Mei Yan on emptiness.
Okay.
Mei Yan, you can ask Geshe directly now.
Mm-hmm.
Mei Yan, you there?
So these are your questions, right? Everybody can see the, I don't think I can sharing, right? No. Okay, everybody listen, I will read the question, right? How to bring forth the correct view of emptiness into the meditation? First, hello, everybody can hear me?
Yes, Geshe, we can
Okay.
hear you.
She asked first question, how to bring forth the correct view of the emptiness into the meditation. Then she asked, could you advise on my understanding of view and further how to take the correct view into the meditation, the same meaning, some question. Then there's a long kind of question, as mentioned in the place of dependent origination. Dependent origination is the meaning of emptiness, and there's a 3 levels of understanding of it. In the Pali Sutra, the focus is merely dependent origination by means of cause and condition, which include the 4 noble truths, 8 four paths, 12 links, dependent origination. It is also expounded in the Rasi links. So she just give all the idea about dependent originations. Then she said, this seems more directly understandable as the taking person aggregates. Meditate, we can see the process of changing body, eliminate elements of air, water, so and so, right? Here, I think first, you have a little confusion about the 2 extremes. Extreme of permanence, extreme of annihilations. Because when you say it seems to more directly understandable taking the person aggregates, because you seems to understand, free from the one of the extreme, which is permanent. Because when you see 5 aggregates as an impermanent, then you think your mind is free from the one of the extreme, which is permanent. So here what you need to know, I will ask you a question. Can you tell me what does mean extreme or permanent? Can you describe?
Hi, Geshe, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, just now I have problems unmuting. So I was saying that when we see dependent origination, when we see the flow of the aggregates, or when we see the process of 4 noble truths or the 12 things that are conditional. That means whatever comes to being is dependent on the previous cause and previous conditions. So when we see this, right, and then in the Rice Seeding Sutra, it also says that if we see the process as such, from changing from one to another, see that this changing, there is no essence that flows from the cause to the effect. There's no such permanent essence goes from one to the other. So this, it will establish that there is no permanent independent essence, which is that. So it refutes the extreme of the permanent independent essence. On the other hand, because there's this origination, there's this flowing, it also refutes the non-existent, that things are existent. So that's my understanding.
Okay, first I think you have a bit. You need to study a bit more about the meaning of dependent origination. For you, dependent origination, you refer to depend on cause and effect.
Yes.
When you say depend on cause, you're saying the previous cause, right?
Yep.
So when we say dependent on cause and condition, cause not necessarily to refer the previous, substantial or primary cause.
Right.
Okay, because you already mentioned there are three levels of meaning of dependent origination. The dependent on parts and whole, also we can depend on causes and condition. It not refer to the previous cause and condition. It depends on the cause and condition within itself, within themselves, within the together.
Understand.
Okay. Then also, when you think, yes, I can understand when I realize the five aggregates is a changing movement. There's no such a permanent essence. Yes, does mean you understand dependent origination, the second level, dependent on causes and condition. It doesn't mean your mind is still free from the permanent, extreme of permanent. Because the extreme of permanent is not referred to the permanent and impermanent, right? So can you tell me what does mean the extreme of permanent?
Okay, Geshe, the way I was reflecting on it is that when something changes from one moment to another, there's nothing that flows from the first moment to the second moment to the third moment. So there's none this separate essence that is flowing. So nothing transmigrate from one to another. Mm-hmm. So that's my understanding that, because when we see things, right, dependent origination, we always think that there is something that flows. There's this I that flows from one moment to another. But actually this that essence that flows from one moment to another, that do not exist. There's only this conditionality of one condition leading to another condition. So that's my that's how I perceive dependent origination or conditionality.
Because you should not mix up dependent origination and conditional phenomena.
Oh, okay.
Because conditioned phenomena refer to only the impermanent phenomena, conditional. Okay. Yep. The dependent origination depend on origin, depend on cause, refer to be the real actual cause and condition, depend on parts and whole, depend on the inputted minds.
Right.
So for you mainly focus on dependent on actual causes and condition.
Right.
Once you understand, yes, all the conditioning phenomena is changing momentarily. One move to second, transport second, third to, then you realize impermanence. Yes, this also you realize the gross impermanence, meaning of gross impermanence.
Right.
Number one. Number two, once you understood the gross impermanent or subtle impermanence, it doesn't mean your mind is free from the one of the extreme, which is the permanent, permanent view.
Okay.
So, can you tell me, there's a two extremes, right?
Yes.
One is the permanent, second is the
non-existent. Extreme from not.
Okay. Can you tell me what does mean, extreme or permanence view?
My understanding, extreme or permanence view, is that when we see dependence origination, we think that there is something that exists intrinsically, truly there, which is separate from the parts or in the parts. So that type of existence do not exist. So that is my understanding of extreme of permanence.
Therefore, when you fully realize impermanent, still you can, when you realize impermanent, you have a mind to realize impermanent. Still you need to realize that the impermanent which you realize is also lack of intrinsic existence. then your mind free from the extreme of permanence.
Okay.
Right? Because therefore, do you remember we have 18 types of emptiness? Emptiness, then emptiness of the emptiness.
Yes.
So when you realize emptiness, you think the emptiness which you realize exists inherently. No. Second, you need to realize the emptiness of the, you need to realize the emptiness which you realize also empty of inherent existence. So for you, you need to study more precisely upon the third level of dependent origination. Third level of dependent origination. Also, you need to learn what does mean, free from the extreme or permanent views. So this I want to say. What is your second question?
My second question is actually to continue from this level of understanding dependence origination, which I think, Geshe, you have covered, is to whether I need to push it to the third level of understanding before I start. So first of all, it's the understanding. Can I use that first level to go into further meditation, or I need to push it to the level of prasangika?
Okay, for everybody, let's say we want to meditate on emptiness. The basic, first we need to meditate on impermanence. Any kinds of, like body, mind, what impermanence. When you are able to meditate on impermanence, then you are able to stop the wrong view, which is the self as a permanent. Then you become more closer to emptiness. Second, based on realizing impermanence of the phenomena, then you need to learn lack of singleness, right?
Right.
Because what Lama Tsongkhapa said in the eliminating of the intent, before he introduced the Prasangika view, he shortly introduced the autonomous school view about emptiness. How he introduced? He introduced first all phenomena divided into two, conditioned and unconditioned, impermanent. Condition divided into two, form and non-form. When he explained the form, then there's not singleness form. All form has a parts. But for us, parts and whole, we think is two different entities. Then he realized, he introduced there's no duality. Perceived as a duality, actually parts and whole is one entity. Then second, he introduced the partless of lack of the partless consciousness. Then he introduced, lack of singleness of the permanent phenomena. So perceived as a duality, in the reality, there's no duality. Then he pushed into the Prasangika views. And also you are having some kind of doubt, because you said, how I can use emptiness as an object of my meditation, because emptiness is the negative phenomena, right?
Yes.
So why did you think that way?
Okay, because I find that if I meditate using dependent origination, which means I see the changes in the aggregates, whether it's form of the mental factors, I can see it. I can see its changes, and from its changes, I can use the logic reasoning to say that it is lack of, because it's conditional, it is lack of intrinsic existence. There's no permanent single entity, and there's the whole and the parts as well. When I meditate between the whole and then the different parts that consist of the self, I can also conclude that the self is empty of an inherent self.
Yes.
So that is based on a positive phenomena that I look at to deduce
Yes.
emptiness.
Yes, there's I think not only, everybody has this kind of problem. When you study about the conditioned dependent origination, in your mind, you can see all the phenomena, right? You can see you can see the element, everything you can see in your mind.
Yes.
When you perceive the things in your mind, the conventional phenomena perceived in your mind, at the same time, you are perceiving the inherent phenomena in your mind.
Yes.
Right? That means you have a deeper understanding of dependent origination, but you are lacking the dependent origination mainly used to reject or what do you call negate the dependent origination. You need to use the negate the inherent phenomena. You are not able to negate the inherent phenomena. You are going more deeper understanding of dependent origination, but you are not using the dependent origination to reject or negate the inherent phenomena, inherent existence. Because when you perceive the conventional phenomena in your mind, you always perceive the inherent phenomena. Therefore, you're not able to reduce your ignorance. When you meditate on emptiness, in your mind, you just negate the inherent phenomena. Nothing can perceive in your mind, except just negate. For example, not only you, okay, for everybody. For example, if somebody asks, do you eat meat? This is a question. Then I say, no, I'm not taking meat. Indirectly, I say, I'm not taking meat. But indirectly, I never indicate, I take, vegetable, I take cabbage, potatoes, and so. Just negate the eating the meat. Indirectly, you don't have any idea, right? What I'm checking.
Right.
Same thing, the phenomena is empty of inherent existence. The words say inherent existence, empty. But in your mind also just negate the inherent phenomena. Else, they are nothing. Nothing. Therefore, in your mind, you need to perceive only the empty parts. Empty parts, nothing else, even though not dependent originations. For you, what I'm saying, the conclusion for you, yes, you are having better understanding of a dependent origination. Your understanding going more deeper on dependent origination. You are lagging. When you think dependent origination, you are able to think empty of inherent existence. Right?
Yes.
So you are lacking these parts.
So Kashila, how do I, because I'm afraid that when I do the meditation and reflecting on independence origination, so I arrive that things are empty of inherent existence, right? Once I go into that, and if it's just a understanding or a feeling, then if I focus too much on that, it becomes, I'm afraid it will drop into nothingness.
Yes.
So that's my concern.
This is a very important question, also very important experience. Therefore, we say dependent. In Tibetan, we call, the word is the ten jung. Ten jung. Dependent, then origination. Two words. When you say dependent, when you in your mind understood the dependent, you are rejecting what? Independent.
Yep.
Independent.
Yep.
Right? Second, when you remember origination, arising. When you remember arising, you need to reject what?
non-existence.
No.
Huh?
No. When you try to understand the deep origination or arising, again you need to reject the inherent existence, not the nothingness.
Okay.
Therefore, these two dependent origination is kind of help each other to understand more deeper way. Okay, so this is for you. I think we can talk more next time. If there's any question from somebody.
Thank you, Geshe.
Welcome.
Yes, Geshe, the next question's from Karen Doughton. Karen, you are unmuted. You can ask questions now.
Hi, Geshe. You in verse 7, 7 and 8, you talked about the Arhat path, which is 8 levels, and you said there were 4 abiding, and then I didn't catch what you said the other 4 were, and I'd like
entering. Yeah.
So how can you give a little more detail? Or is it?
No, I think you just remember there's a 8, Arhat, the highest one, the 8.
Right.
1 to 8.
Yeah.
That means the practitioner who reached to the liberation state.
Yeah.
So the practitioner who reached to the liberation state, he or she never returned to samsara by karmic.
Yeah.
They're free from samsara. So this is the analogy.
Right.
Example. Therefore, the bodhisattva who reached the first bhumi, he or she is look like the akin to the 8 arhat. So I'm not going to explain what are the 8 abiding, 8 enterings. There will be a lot of confusion. Lot of confusion.
All right, thank you.
Any question?
Geshe, the next question is from Mui Pang. Mui Pang asks, how is a permanent phenomena dependent arising?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for asking this question again. I think everybody has a great question. There's a problem when we say deep. I think everybody will accept. Everybody going to accept the permanent phenomena also dependent phenomena, right?
Yes.
So any phenomena had to depend on something. So everybody will agree. But when it's arising, there's a problem to accept. Yeah, everybody say, yes, I can understand permanent phenomena or dependent phenomena, but there's no arising, right? Arising, you refer to say, existent, dependently established. Arising not necessarily, small and become big and big, no. Arising referred to be establishing, existing. Therefore, all permanent phenomena exist. How to exist? Exist dependently. Establish. How to establish? Establish dependently. If you think this way, then there's no problem to think, I don't think you have a problem to understand the permanent phenomena are not dependent arising. Arising refer to existing, establishing, and how to exist. So I will ask you a question. Which permanent phenomena cannot be dependent arising?
Inherent existent phenomena.
Okay, inherent existent phenomena is a non-existent phenomena. This is no phenomenon. This is no permanent, neither permanent nor impermanent, because these are non-existent phenomena. Permanent impermanent phenomena, either which one must be existent phenomena.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the question was which phenomena, give an example of a phenomena that is not an arising phenomena. Is that your question?
No, all phenomena, is a arising phenomena. Existing phenomena is a same meaning.
Okay.
Therefore, according to Madhyamikavatara school, according to Buddhist philosophical view, all phenomena are dependently establishing. Yeah, therefore, all permanent phenomena can be, dependent arising, because dependently existing. Arising not referred to, arising means first they are small, then become more bigger and bigger, and then huge. No. Also, arising not referred to arise from the actual causes and condition. Quite clear?
So can I say that permanent phenomena fulfill, like let's use the English expression, maybe I'm confused by the translation, dependent origination. So for me, right, permanent phenomena fulfill the parts on dependent, but origination, I have a problem. For example, a thought in my mind, imaginary, where does it come from? Because I cannot say it comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it comes from somewhere, then I tap into I will break the debates, right? Then it become a condition impermanent phenomena.
Therefore, arising, origination, it doesn't mean the permanent phenomena originated from something. No. No.
Yeah.
Permanent phenomena, dependent origination means it's a dependently establishing phenomena.
Okay.
Okay. Origination can be establishing, existing, not, what is your origin, where you come from. No. This is the English, the language problem when we use in the Dharma words or Dharma term.
Okay. So origin doesn't mean that it comes from a source.
No.
What is the origin? So the dependent origination, this English translation origination, what is it in Tibet, in Tibetan?
In Tibetan called Tenne mean dependent.
Oh, okay. It's also dependent.
Tenne. Origination Jungwa. Jungwa mean establishing, existing. Okay. Yeah. If you apply only the actual phenomena, then you can say it's origin from someone, from somewhere. Okay. Next question, please, if there's any question. Any question? No more, right?
Harry, you're on mute.
Geshe, no questions, no other new questions.
Okay. And thank you so much for attending this morning class. So whenever you have free time, please read, the text, maybe few sentences, and think about the meaning. Try to understand the meaning. Try to have a better understanding of the meanings. And thank you so much again, and have a happy Sunday.